Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. We women all love jewelry, and the fashion statements are made with jewelry pieces, and everyone likes to show their individuality through jewelry. I myself, love jewelry, and also I admire the pieces when other people wear those. Jewelry has been there for ages, for thousands of years across the globe, and yet we always have special jewelers who still come up with new ideas and new designs to fascinate us every day. Today I have with me a wonderful guest, a jeweler, a person who makes everything from the beginning, right from the stones, in the making of the stones, the polishing of it, and then finally getting the designs and the product for you. So please join me in welcoming Terri Cisero. Terri, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited. I think I've been trying to get you here on my show for over a year now, right?
Yeah, schedules have been a little tough.
Yeah, often I do face such a problem with guests, in terms of timing and scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so happy you were able to come today.
So am I.
And also you brought all your wonderful stones and jewelry pieces, so I'm sure it'll be an exciting show. I would first like to ask you, about your background. Where are you from?
I'm from Shelton, Connecticut.
You're here, okay.
Yep, born and raised.
And what's your background?
All I've ever really done is stone cutting. I've done it since I was a little girl.
Okay, now the question comes. How did you get interested in stone cutting, and when did you start that?
I was 8 years old, and in science class we did a chapter on rocks and minerals, and I have been tumbling and collecting ever since.
Wait a minute, what happened in that class?
There was just something that grabbed me about the gems. One of my classmates had a grandfather that was a rock hound. Okay. So we all took a field trip to his place, and he showed us stones from all over the world. And he showed us the tumble polish method, and there was just something that excited me.
I know that most elementary school kids do have one field trip where the teachers take them to a stone place, where they have all these little precious gems, or where they can find their own treasures. But then for you to be really fascinated by that, is another step forward in this.
Yeah, I was pretty excited, and I was very lucky when I went home and told my parents what I wanted to do. They were very supportive.
Which stone fascinated you? Which rock was enticing?
All of them. Yeah. All of them. It was what can be done with them, that you can take something from the ground and make something so beautiful.
So you were like a kid in a candy shop. This just wasn't a candy shop. Very
much. I'm still like that when I go shopping for my materials.
So you were only 8 years old?
Yes.
At that time?
Yes.
And what did you go home and tell your parents?
I told them that I wanted to get a rock tumbler and I wanted to polish rocks.
Oh my God, did they take you seriously?
They did, actually. I think it was just how excited and how passionate I was about it. That class had never done that for me before. So my dad told me that I could have $5 for every A I got in my report card. And with that money, I bought my first real professional grade gem tumbler.
Isn't that wonderful? I think parents who are watching the show should pay attention right here, because it's what the parent does when a child shows some interest.
Yes.
Your parents made it positive.
Yes.
And they said, okay, get your A's, and for every A, I'll give you some money, right?
Yes.
And it was a good amount too for a child.
It was quite a bit back then, yeah. And they were involved all the way through. It was a great way to spend time with my dad.
I mean, imagine getting a rock tumbler at that age, one for yourself. Oh my God, okay. Yeah. So I think now my audience wouldn't know what rock tumbler or rock tumbling means.
Tumbling is basically the same exact thing that the ocean does. When you go to the beach, all the beach stones are rounded and smooth.
Yes.
And that's what the tumbler system will do. It's a rubber barrel that runs on arbors, and it rotates continuously.
Okay.
And inside the barrel you have stones, you have water, and you have abrasive, which is like the sand. And so the abrasive will grind away the sharp edges, and it will continuously roll and rotate, and each piece will knock against another piece and grind into the slurry, and it will eventually smooth and shape the stones.
Do you have to still polish it after that?
Yeah, there's 4 basic steps. After that, you can clean them very well and then do a polish step.
Okay, let's take a little bit of a break now from the stones, and then just describe just the steps that lead to making this beautiful jewelry, the one that you're wearing even.
Thank you. Well, actually now as an adult, I cut the stones by hand. I don't tumble as much anymore. They're called cabochons, and cabochon is just a stone that's polished but not faceted.
I see.
And so they're sawed first, and then cut on diamond impregnated grinding wheels individually. So each
How do you
piece
hold
is done by
tiny
hand.
pieces?
How? You can dop them, which is just basically a wooden dowel and dopping wax, and it looks like a lollipop.
Oh, I see.
I prefer to do it by hand.
So you use the bigger pieces.
You get pretty good at the littler stuff
Even the
as
little
time
ones.
goes on.
So-
Yeah, you don't have fingernails, but you get pretty good at it.
Okay, I see.
Practice.
So first you prep the stone, get the stone ready and polished, right?
Well, first you have to saw.
Yeah,
you get
saw.
the rough material, and then you saw a slab.
So
you have
this is like this?
right. You have
This
a
is
larger
the big
saw.
rock, and then there's a cut, and then you
Yes.
have the slice.
Exactly. That's a larger saw. Then you take the slab to a trim saw. So that's smaller, and it's run with water. You do that by hand. And you cut a piece of the material, and then you take that piece of material to what's called a cabbing machine. It's a series of diamond impregnated grinding wheels.
Ah.
It's very, very coarse on the first step, and you get successfully finer as you go down the machine. So you're getting the scratches out from the previous wheel.
Okay.
You're
And yes,
shaping
still
it.
as a slab, still.
No, this is the piece.
So by then you get the piece. And this is what goes in the machine
Exactly.
at that point. Okay.
Exactly. You take that piece by hand down these wheels.
Okay.
Once you've finished that, you can then
So you
polish.
do just one surface or all the sides? All surfaces?
You do all of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not everybody does the back, but it's a much more professional look if you do the back as well.
I see.
Yeah. And then after that, you can polish. I have a leather polishing pad that I like. Different.
So that's what gives a very smooth polish, like
that's
this
what gives
one.
it the shine.
I
yes.
see.
And once I'm done with all that, I then wire wrap as well.
So now comes the jewelry part of it.
Right.
So when you have the stone and when you're polishing it, are you imagining how you're going to design it? Or where is it going into a pendant or a earring?
Yeah, most of my pieces are pendants, and the stone kind of speaks for itself. When I start the sawing, I kind of know what shape I'm going to try to do, and then once I have the shape of the stone, I have the vision of the wire.
That's
what I'd like the
so
wire to
that's
do.
when you kind of design it in your head.
Yeah.
Do you also draw it out?
Sometimes, but not very often.
If you're just using a single stone for a pendant or earring, you're not going to need a design.
I draw it when I'm not at my desk and I have an idea.
Oh, I see.
Just so that I can remember it. But most of the time, it's all free form, and it's all just kind of it's a creative process. So it just kind of happens as you're doing it.
So one step is actually prepping the stone for making jewelry from a rock.
Right.
And then the next step is just designing it in your mind or on a piece of paper. And then you get your wires out.
Right.
What wires do you use for this?
Sterling silver. Yeah, most of my pieces are done with sterling silver.
And some look like gold?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
are they
I have
coated
14
with
karat
gold?
gold-filled wire as well.
Or gold-filled
Yeah.
wires?
Yeah, all the materials are good because all of my stones and materials are genuine. So I want the wire to be good as well.
The stones themselves, are they precious rocks or semi-precious?
Semi-precious.
Okay.
I use a lot of very unusual materials. I have, in addition to stones, I have drusies.
Oh.
So I would get it like that, and I would actually cut this open.
Oh, isn't that sparkly?
And then I would cut the cabochon and then wire wrap it.
I see.
This is an amethyst stalagmite. You saw a cross section or a slab,
Yeah.
and this is what you get.
Oh,
It looks like a flower.
it's so beautiful by itself.
And then I wire wrap that.
Oh, wow. That looks also like some glass pieces that are made, with all this colors and designs. in
Dichroic
there.
glass, yeah, that's very popular right now.
What is it called?
Dichroic glass. This is an amethyst flower.
This is an amethyst flower. And the glass ones are the Italian glass designs, right?
The Muranos?
The Muranos, yeah.
Yeah, I don't work with glass.
Yeah.
But it's
But I'm
similar
saying
tools.
it looks very similar to that, but this is made in nature. And then
Yes.
all you're doing is getting the beauty out of the stone. That is
Yeah,
nice.
you
It's
can't top
lovely.
Mother Nature. You have to work with her. My materials are all natural. They're all good quality. I like to enhance Mother Nature's products.
So when you wire wrap, again, that's a technique, right?
Yes.
It's not done the usual way that regular jewelry is made with the
I don't do any kind of metal
settings and all.
smithing. I don't do, there's no epoxy involved.
Okay.
It's simply the jeweler's pliers, the wire, and it's all done with my hands.
So it's a lot of labor, really.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Initially, what rocks did you work with?
Mostly agates and jaspers.
Are they easier to handle? Are they
No,
brittle or strong?
They're strong. They're a
Okay.
tough stone, so they wear on your wheels faster, but they're you don't lose as much material.
I see.
So they're good to start with, because if you have a heavy hand and you start with a soft stone, you're going to lose a lot of that material,
I
and
see.
a lot of the softer stones are the more expensive.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I started with the harder ones.
I want to ask you a little bit more about rock tumbling.
Okay.
You had your initial little tumbler when you were little. How long did you keep it, and did you still use it as a professional?
I still have the barrels.
Okay, you still have them. Did you buy any more after that?
Yes, I had a commercial size. The barrels were as large as the big gallon buckets of paint.
Yeah.
5-gallon buckets. Yeah, and there were 6 of those.
And the original one, how big was that?
The original,
first one.
the first ones were only 3-pound barrels.
Oh, I
they were
see.
only this big.
I see.
Yeah.
And how long did you have to tumble that?
Forever. They go continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months, depending on the
I
material.
see.
The
Okay.
harder material has to go longer in each step.
I
The
see.
softer material, you do a shorter period of time.
So
in
you
each
don't
step.
mix the softer and the
No,
harder ones?
no.
Only one kind of rock goes in at
Exactly.
a time? Okay.
Yes, everything in the barrel must be the same hardness, or you're going to lose whatever.
Yes, the
is
soft ones are going to
Right.
break and
right.
become sand. before you
Exactly.
know. Oh, that's interesting. So you have the bigger ones.
Yes.
And, well, if it takes months, I mean,
It's you have to be very
it's,
patient with this.
I see. So you just tumble it and tumble it and tumble it.
Even
and
the cabochons take a while. You have to do, depending on the size of the stone you get, you have to take it down all the different size saws,
Yeah.
and then all the grinding wheels, and then polish.
I
So
see.
it's a process.
What stone are you wearing?
Tiger eye.
That's tiger eye. I know. I thought so. And you have the earrings too
Yeah.
to match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering because somebody told me I should never wear tiger's eye.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if you follow all the gemstones and the benefits.
The metaphysical properties?
Yeah.
Yes, I've studied that.
So do you have people coming and asking you, oh, which stone is right for me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you
They'll
pick?
ask whether they have a particular issue, or if they're looking to. Some of them have healing properties. If they have something going on in their life, or if they have something going on in their body, they'll ask, what's good for this, or if someone has told them to get this gem because it's good for this condition, or there's good luck stones, there's stones for courage, there's anything you can imagine. And this is some of the lore and legend goes back thousands and thousands of years.
Well, I think these legends from the Western world, excuse me, they are different from the ones from the Eastern astrological remedies.
They do change over time, but they generally start somewhere, and then they kind of evolve. Every culture had a use for stones.
Tell me the story again with your dad. And what age did you start doing this professionally?
Professionally, I started my business in 1994.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been doing I've been tumbling and polishing and collecting stones since I was 8. So that's almost 40 years.
So what did you do when you were 8 and all the way to 1994? You were tumbling and polishing. I'm sure you have a ton of stones. What did you do with them?
What did I do with them? My dad had a workshop. He built a whole workshop for us in the basement. And he took peanut butter jars and screwed the tops to the bottom of a shelf.
Yeah.
So we could put each batch, each stone, in a clear glass peanut butter jar, and they would hang so that we could see each one. And even at that age, I was making jewelry.
Oh, you were still making jewelry?
Yeah.
The same wire wrapping methods?
No, not wire wrapping. I was just epoxying what they call a bell cap. And I would put it on a cord and give them out as gifts for Christmas.
I see. That's wonderful. I'm sure people loved your Christmas gifts, right? Lucky friends.
Yeah.
And relatives, I'm sure.
I had a lot of fun with it. I did. And I learned a lot. You're always learning, and you're never bored because there's never anything that's the same.
So when did you start wire wrapping?
Oh gosh, probably about maybe 19 years ago, 18 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have to take lessons?
No, I could not find any kind of tutorials. It's just kind of self-taught.
Really?
Yeah.
Now there are so many courses
There are
and classes.
so many things now. It's really very nice.
Even I attended one recently, and that was local too, in Richfield.
Yeah, I've done a few teaching things myself. It's a lot of
That
fun.
Sugar Beads place, we all went and there was some teacher teaching us, and we all learned how to do the little jewelry making with the wires and just beads to start with. How do you make these into beads? Do you ever make them into beads?
I don't do much work with beads at all. Yeah, each different technique is a completely different workshop.
How did you make that earring? Did you glue it to the wire?
No, it's drilled through.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
So you do have like a little hole drilled in.
Right, yeah.
And then you put the wire into it
goes
with
right
some glue?
through. No, there's no glue
No glue
involved.
at all?
No.
How does it hold?
You have to hold it with the wire.
Oh, that's interesting. Does it hold around, wrap around in the back?
It does. It goes
It
goes all the way
because
through.
it doesn't show in the front.
Right, but that's what you want. You want the stone to show.
Yeah. Do you have any helpers in
No.
your business of
It's just
trying to
me.
make jewelry? It's just you? How long does it take to make something like that pendant from start to finish, starting from the stone?
Hours. Each piece is hours. Sometimes it's 2.5 hours just to do the wire.
Oh, I see. I'm
It's
sure
quite a bit of
you're
time.
adept at that. So you must be making
You
it
do,
pretty
you get
quickly.
quicker and quicker, but there are things that take time, so you still have to be careful.
Did you ever have to kind of like, oh, I did this, I don't like it, I'm going to take it out and do it in a different way, or there's too much wire coming in the front, or not enough wire holding it? How do you do that?
I've got, I can't say no, but more often than not, you find a way to fix it because you don't want to scrap that wire.
Okay.
Yeah. It's once you've put the time into it,
I see.
and the material is sterling, and you can scrap it and get new wire for it, but other than that, it's a waste.
Oh, I see.
So usually your mistakes are your most creative pieces.
I see. Do you have some samples that you can show us?
I do. I have a lot of pieces that are unusual. A lot of people tell me that they've never seen this. This is actually...
That is particularly shiny, because I have this stone. I have beads of this, nowhere near the shine.
It's called goldstone.
Yeah, I have a whole big string of goldstone, but nothing like this. This is so sparkly, beautiful. And this is what?
Blue goldstone.
Oh my God. Where are they mined from?
This is actually the only man-made stone that I work with.
Oh, this is a man-made one.
They're both the same stone.
That is why, okay.
They're both the same stone.
All right.
It's just a different version.
So how was it made? No wonder, see, because the natural one doesn't.
The story behind
this pattern.
goldstone is that there was a monastery that made stained glass. And centuries ago, they were experimenting with different additives because they were trying to get color, different colors. They added copper, and this is what they came out with.
I see. A copper added to what material?
To glass.
To glass, okay.
So this is actually glass with copper in it. It is a man-made stone. But if
What
I
makes
cut
the black one?
If I cut the material the wrong way, I don't get this effect. I get a very dull, dark stone.
Oh, I see. So can you make my, the real stones sparkle? Because I have these beads.
Oh, you need them repolished?
Yeah, maybe the right way so it brings out the...
I would have to see them.
Okay.
See how small they are?
They're kind of half-inch wide, I think. Half-inch diameter.
This is petrified wood, and that piece is tumbled. That's a stone from when I was little.
Oh, this is lovely. I mean, people who appreciate old, the fossil stone kind of.
That comes out of Arizona.
Oh.
Where the petrified forest is.
I mean, no one can guess. It's very beautiful.
And that's the difference. You see how round the stone is?
Yes.
That's been through the tumbler.
I see.
The other stones I cut by hand.
They're just polished. Okay, okay.
I have.
So have you gone around the nation trying to buy rocks, or where do you buy them?
I go to trade shows. I go to gem shows and fossil shows, and I get the raw materials. Yeah. This is a Civil War bullet.
Oh my God, Civil War bullet. Even that makes a jewelry.
This is a dinosaur tooth.
It's
a Spinosaurus tooth.
Oh. Where do you get these from?
The fossil shows, the trade shows.
I see. And how expensive are these?
Well, there's a difference between this piece here is $150.
Okay.
That's what I sell it for.
Okay. So these aren't too expensive to buy, the dinosaur bones on teeth.
There's every price point that you can imagine.
Oh, I see.
For retail and wholesale. It just depends on the quality of the material and what the material is, how rare it is.
Okay, we only have 3 minutes. I like to see this one.
This one?
The last one here.
This is an ammonite fossil.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's a very, very typical design of what a person would imagine for a fossil stone, right? It's
Yep.
cut right in the middle.
I also have meteorites.
This is not tumbled, this is cut, sliced and polished.
It's cut and polished,
This
right?
is right. And this one, what is that?
A meteorite.
A meteorite. It's very heavy.
Meteorite is very heavy. It's iron and nickel.
I see. And who would want to wear this?
Anybody that wants their own personal shooting star.
I see. And does it have any particular properties
Meteorites, yes.
to help people
Yep, communication with other worlds.
with other worlds?
Mhm.
So this is a good one for intuitives and psychics to have,
It is.
or
Yep,
mediums
it brings
to have.
knowledge.
Okay. We only have a couple minutes left, so we'll. But we can always continue into another show.
This, I
And
don't know if
talk
you
a
can
little
see if you tilt it, you can see the hearts.
Oh yes, I see a heart right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's
a
a
very light colored
rainbow.
heart. What is
There's
it?
a rainbow of hearts in there.
I
It's
see.
called rainbow obsidian.
Obsidian. Okay. This stone has been used from ancient times. I think people used obsidian to make mirrors, right? in the old-
Obsidian's been used for many, many things.
Mhm.
Yeah, obsidian is natural glass. It's volcanic glass.
I see. And where do you get them from?
That particular material comes out of Mexico.
I see. And does it follow the same tumbling process? No tumbling.
No, these are all, this is individually cut.
So how do you cut glass? Because it's very difficult. It can just go into
The
pieces.
same way you cut anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're
Yep.
strong enough?
Glass, it has a hardness of 5 on the Mohs scale from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So it's right in the middle.
Oh, I see. And you have the equipment to cut it correctly. Oh,
Right.
we're out of time.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you for bringing all these lovely rocks and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for
It's such
having
a
me.
pleasure
It was
having
a pleasure
you.
to be here. Thank you.
you so much, Terri. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the show. And if you have any questions, please write to practicaltalktime@yahoo.com. Until next time, goodbye.